Today, we're diving into a really powerful, maybe even radical idea about relationships. It's all summed up in this one sentence. When attachment disappears, love finally appears. So, what on earth does that actually mean? Well, let's get into it. Okay, let's just start with a question that might flip everything you thought you knew on its head. We always hear that the opposite of love is hate, right? But what if it's something else entirely? Something we often confuse for love. What if the real opposite of love is attachment? And this is where it gets tricky for, well, pretty much all of us. We see a couple clinging to each other, and we think, that's real love. We feel that desperate, can't live without you feeling for someone, and we assume, yep, this must be it. But what if we've had it backwards this whole time? What if these two powerful feelings aren't just different, but are actually pulling in completely opposite directions? So, to really get the difference, we have to define our terms. First up, what exactly is attachment? A great way to think about it is as a specific voice inside your head. And this voice, it speaks from a place of fear and of possession. The first thing this voice says is, I need you. Now pay close attention to that word. It's not I want you or I enjoy you, it's need. This comes from a deep-seated feeling of lack, a feeling that you're incomplete and you need this other person to come and fill a hole inside of you. It basically turns another human being into a solution for your own incompleteness. So from that feeling of needing someone, the voice of attachment naturally moves to possession. I want to keep you. It's that desire to hold on tight, to control things, to make absolutely sure this person who fills your void isn't going anywhere. It has very little to do with their freedom and everything to do with your sense of security. And this gets to the absolute core of it all, fear. I'm afraid to lose you. This fear is the engine that drives everything else. All the jealousy, the anxiety, the need for control, it all comes from this primal terror of being left alone, of being left incomplete again. Attachment, at its heart, is just fueled by the fear of your own loss. Okay, so if that's attachment, it's kind of heavy, right? Then what about true love? Well, it's presented as a completely different voice. It's not a voice of fear at all. It's a voice of freedom and a genuine wish for the other person's happiness. Let's listen to what it has to say. The very first thing the voice of love says is, I want you to be free. I mean, just think about that for a second. It's the polar opposite of I want to keep you. It doesn't see the other person as something to be owned, but as a whole person whose own path and freedom are the most important thing. And then the focus just completely shifts. Instead of I need you to make me happy, the feeling becomes I want you to be happy. The main motivation here isn't self-interest. It's not about filling your own void. It's a real selfless desire for the well-being of the other person. And here it is. This is the mic drop moment. This is the ultimate test, the line that separates love from attachment with perfect clarity, even if that happiness does not include me. This is love in its purest form. It's a love that is so secure, so selfless, that it can actually celebrate the other person's joy, even if you're not the one causing it. It is the total absence of the fear that powers attachment. I mean, just look at the contrast here. It's night and day. Attachment says, I need you, I want to keep you, I'm afraid to lose you. It's all about I and my fear. But love, it says, I want you to be free, I want you to be happy. The focus is completely on you and your happiness. The difference couldn't be starker. It really makes you wonder, which voice do you hear more often in your own life? So now that we can see the difference, the next big question is, why? Why does attachment cause so much pain? Why do jealousy and anxiety and heartbreak seem to follow it around like a shadow? Let's dig into the source of all that suffering. Now, what's really interesting here is that this isn't about saying desire is bad. Not at all. Wanting someone, desiring connection, that's a totally natural human energy. The problem, the place where all the suffering comes from, isn't the desire. It's the attachment, the clinging, the grasping, the mental demand that reality has to bend to your will. To really get this, we can look at the Buddhist concept of śūnyatā, or emptiness. Now, don't let the word throw you off. It doesn't mean nothingness. A simpler way to think about it is that reality is in a constant state of flux. Everything, people, feelings, relationships, everything is like a river. It's always flowing, always changing. Nothing is ever fixed or permanent. So here's the simple 3-step recipe for suffering. Step 1. Reality is constant change. Everything flows.
Step 2, attachment is your mind screaming, stop. It's the demand that this feeling, this person, this moment must stay and not change. Step 3 is what happens next, suffering. You're trying to start a fight with the very nature of the universe, and that's a fight you are never, ever going to win. So, if attachment is this painful, impossible fight against reality, what happens when we finally let it go? What happens when we stop fighting? This brings us to the final and, honestly, the most beautiful part of this whole idea, the great reveal. So when you finally stop clinging, when you stop demanding that the river of life freeze just for you, when that attachment just drops away, you don't feel a void. You don't feel empty or lost like your fear always told you you would. Instead, something truly profound and beautiful happens. Love remains. It turns out that pure, unconditional love was there all along, just buried underneath all the fear, the neediness, and the control games of attachment. It's not about losing something. It's about uncovering what was always there to begin with, the kind of love that can appreciate beauty without needing to own it.
And that brings us right back to where we started. When attachment disappears, love finally appears. Maybe love isn't something you go out and get from another person. Maybe it's a state of being that's just revealed when the fear-based mind finally gets out of the way. So the thought I'll leave you with is this. What if the goal isn't to find love, but to simply start removing all the attachments that are currently hiding it?